Hey everyone! So in my last video I shared a day in the life of being a full-time artist, but that's only half of it. Outside of my regular 9 to 5 business hours, which, you know, it's not super strict that it stays in that time frame, but outside of that time I do a lot of things as well, and a lot of sketching, my planning, and things just kind of overflow into my personal time. Because I spend so much of my day doing things that the business requires to survive, I don't get to paint a lot during the day. I sometimes have to schedule in very strict time, like if I'm doing a commission or have a tight deadline for something, then I will definitely make sure I paint during the day. But otherwise, I spend most of my nights being creative, and I just wanted to share a little of that with you. So as you saw in my previous video, I do often try to take an evening walk, unless it's absolutely miserable outside, but it really helps me to unwind after the day of work, especially if I had just finished streaming, because streaming to me is one of the most exhausting things I do. Mentally, it completely drains me. So getting out into nature, being in these open spaces, and how therapeutic the forest is for me just helps ground me and kind of gives me a little burst of energy. And when I get back home, depending what time it is, I'll make a snack and sit down for some sketching or even just mindless scrolling or pinning cool things to Pinterest. Just anything for 10 minutes to let my mind relax.
What are you doing?
And I don't know if I've mentioned this before to you guys, but I have scoliosis. I've had it my whole life, and it is one of the biggest factors for my chronic back pain. And by the way, that means my spine is curved and it's also slightly twisted. So I have to be careful of how much sitting I do or how much of any one thing I do. Even standing for long periods of time is awful. But I'm finding ways to cope with it, and that includes being horizontal very often. So every once in a while I have to lie down or at least sit down on the couch and let all of the pressure go off of my back and legs. And sketching is a great way to fill those hours. Sometimes I can be really active during the day, and other times I can barely move. It just depends on the day. If you are a sufferer of chronic pain, self-care is your best friend. Do you guys remember this sketchbook? I showed a little bit of sketching in it a while back, and I've filled a few more pages since then, but I actually lost this sketchbook for many months. And I only recently found it when I was cleaning out the storage room for Floki's Little Fortress, which I showed in the last video. So yeah, I'm very excited to have this sketchbook back. It's one of my favorites for pencil sketching. So as I mentioned earlier, I like to unwind after my day's work, and part of that can be a transition into being creative, or it could just be about absorbing inspiration or planning things, which I'll get into later. But what I like to do is start with a few minutes of just scrolling in some of my Pinterest boards. I have this one called Fantastic Sketchbooks that I fill with the most gorgeous sketchbooks. Like, all I have to do is look at these for a few minutes and I'm like, oh my gosh, let's sketch. I get so excited and inspired. So doing something like that, if you have the creative energy but you just don't know what to do, is a great way to kind of get yourself jump started in that excitement and pick up the sketchbook. There's one artist in particular that always gets me super inspired to sketch, and that is Ian Fanelli. He is a UK artist who does lots and lots of streetscapes or building sketches or paintings. He does like ink and wash style, but it's very loose and very expressive. It's so detailed when you look up close at it, but at the same time it has this kind of wonky, loose aspect to it. Man, you just have to go look at the drawings, the paintings. They're so gorgeous, and hopefully that'll get you guys inspired.
Floki. Little Floki.
If you watched my recent beginning of the year vlog, you saw this diagram, which is part of what I do at night. I plan a lot and I think about business strategies, Lots of different things, but this is just one example. And this past year, I started doing this thing where I keep a master list of all the video ideas that I have for YouTube or my Patreon, and just write as much as I can. And so when I'm sitting on the couch at night, I do this kind of stuff a lot. He's a tired baby. When Wolfie is sitting next to me and we're watching a show or something, it's really easy to just kind of jot ideas down and, I don't know, work through things before I start making a video. I don't have to write a full script or anything, but sometimes I do. And I also do lots of my blogging at night, so I can spend hours blogging very easily. And I have a master list of blog ideas, blog post ideas. Honestly, I think my videos make my life seem more exciting than it is because we live in this beautiful area and I do go outside a lot and see lots of beautiful things. And also in the warmer months, plein air painting brings me to such cool, beautiful places. But the day-to-day minutia, the day-to-day work, the admin stuff, all of this behind the scenes planning stuff is the bulk of it, and that isn't as exciting. However, I feel like it's important to share the whole story because some people out there might be aspiring to be a full-time artist, and if they never see this kind of thing, you know, they have no idea what to expect. And what it comes down to is that it is a constant hustle and you are making your own success. Your success comes directly from your actions. So if you are inactive in your business and you don't plan, you may not make it. That's just the reality of it. But there are so many different paths out there. Technically, if you're not working, you are not generating revenue unless you have passive income. And that is a topic I really want to dive into maybe in another video. Passive income is an absolute necessity for self-employed artists, I think. So if you don't continually assess your success or where you're at with your business and you're not planning ahead, then it is very difficult to make it as a full-time artist or even any type of self-employed creative person. But once you have a routine or a system in place, it becomes a little bit easier. And for me, it took a long time, and I'm still figuring it out as I go and kind of adjusting things here and there. I do let my work spill into my personal time, and those two are so blurred for me by now that I don't even know the difference. But luckily, I still get to spend time with Wolfie and my kitties. And when lockdown isn't happening, we go places and we see cool things and we do things. Now that I think about it, lockdown has encouraged me to be more of a workaholic. I need to watch out for that. I don't think it's healthy to work nonstop, which is kind of why I break up my day with errands or chores or yoga or exercise of any kind. Like just breaking up those long periods of time where I'm working on my computer or painting or studying or planning. I don't know, all of the things. Something that helped me when I was first getting serious with my business is I remember someone said you have to get to know yourself and figure out or observe what times of day are you most creative? What times of day are you most tired? What times of day are you most inspired? Because if you're self-employed, you have the luxury of designing your own schedule, so you can mold your schedule around that. I get really creative at night, and I don't always have the energy after a long day to like pursue the creativeness at night, but sometimes I do, and I do my best work late at night. I think it's because my brain starts to kind of unwind and de-stress, and that's when the creativity creeps in. Oh, my battery died, I had to change it. And I'm really thankful that Wolfie is so understanding. He knows that I'll just jump up and start painting out of nowhere. Or when we're in bed and we're falling asleep, I'll suddenly jump up and write something on my phone. Okay, enough talking, let's sketch. Over the last couple of years, I've been practicing my visualization skills, meaning I try not to use reference for a whole drawing. I can start with a reference or glance at one if I need help with proportion or scale or something, but I try to burn those images into my mind's eye and draw from that. Otherwise, I draw from the memories of the various nature walks I frequently take, and I have a video about observing carefully and gathering reference if you're interested in that.
Cheers, baby. Oh, he was so sleepy.
Sometimes when I'm in the mood to sketch but I have no idea what I want to sketch, I will ask Wolfie to just throw an idea out there.
What kind of rock structure, rock thing should I draw?
When we were walking on certain bits of the ground beside the river, there's like a...
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Well, eroded away from the water.
So basically what I'm saying is like...
You want me to draw an overhang that's eroded away. Those roots hanging down and there's like still rocks and everything connected. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Take the road.
If you are new to drawing landscape elements, I know it can be kind of intimidating, and if you're interested in drawing trees or rocks, I have in-depth Skillshare classes about both of these subjects, which shows how to start with the basic shapes before moving on to painting with various mediums. So check those links out in the description if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching this video and sharing in my journey. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. And of course, if you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer quickly. See you guys next time.